All right, guys, welcome to our weekly webinar. Thank you guys so much for being here. We have a full house today. If it's your first time here, thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys don't know me, my name is David Schinkel. I am the CEO and founder of Positive Traders. I've been running this trading group for almost a year now. June will make a whole year. I do this Sunday webinar every single Sunday, with the exception of last Sunday was the first Sunday that I missed since last June. So I do apologize for all of our loyal followers that are here every single Sunday with us, but had some stuff come up last week. So I really apologize that I missed last week's, but definitely looking at coming in this week with some great analysis, coming in with some great signals in the Telegram for you guys that are part of the free group. If you guys are in my Telegram, if you guys follow me, if you guys like what you hear today, I do also offer like an upgraded group, a little bit of a premium group. Not going to talk too much about it, but if you want to learn more, I do have a website. If you guys like what you hear, visit our website. It's right here is the address, positivetraders.us. That's it. Bring you right to the website. You can read all about us, see everything that we have to offer, and kind of get a little bit inside scoop. Feel free to follow us on Telegram for as long as you want. It's a little bit more broad on Telegram. I don't really give necessarily exact entries, exact stop loss, exact take profit like I do in the premium group, but I like to at least post my trade ideas and help kind of get everybody in the same mindset of which directions the markets are headed. And that's why I do the Sunday webinars, to help everybody kind of get an idea of, what direction they should be trading the week, or not necessarily they should be trading, but more of my opinion. So before I do get started, I do want to just give you guys a little disclaimer that these are just my opinions. I'm a pretty decent trader, right? I have about a 60 to 70% win ratio, but that I'm obviously that's a 60 to 70% win ratio. It's not a 100% win ratio. I don't know a single trader out there that has a 100% win ratio. So, traders are going to be wrong at times. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt, and also do understand that I am doing all of this analysis based on higher time frames. Okay. So if I say, I'm looking at one pair going in a certain direction, I don't necessarily mean it's going to happen right now or in the next couple hours. It might not be until Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometime during the week. It's just kind of my general overall opinion for the week. And then for more exact trade ideas, stay tuned in Telegram. I like to post my trading view links, trading view charts, so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at. And then also if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I definitely would follow me on there. I have Instagram stories that I do throughout the week that I'll sometimes post like entries of certain trades, and I'll tell you, and I show the pair that I'm trading. So just kind of give you guys a little like sneak peek. So alrighty, so here we go. Louis, if you can't hear, you just got to turn on the. Let me just type turn off mute. All right. There we go. Perry, I do have a Snapchat. I don't really use Snapchat. I primarily focus on the Facebook group, Telegram, and Instagram. But my Instagram is just my full name, at David Schinkel. But it's also posted all over, like Telegram. We have a pinned message in there. You can find everything in there. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. So always what I like to do is I always go off I'm sure most of you guys that have been following me for a really long time know that I like to go over the economic calendar first. This week, you guys will notice not a lot of red folders, okay? So tomorrow we do have the core durable goods order for the dollar. That should be a pretty big market mover. It is forecasted to come out as the same as the previous month. You guys can see M over M. This is a month over month report. So this should be a market mover to one side or the other. So be aware of when that's coming out. Nothing really else this week. We have some GDP on Tuesday. We have some consumer confidence on Tuesday. Just some standard red folders, standard high impact news. We got some Australian dollar GDP on Tuesday as well. Some Chinese news in the evening. We got some pound PMI Wednesday morning. So it is still overall pretty light. You guys can see there isn't like a ton of red folders like you might see on some weeks. And we also have unemployment claims for the US dollar on Thursday. So there are actually quite a few pieces of news for the dollar, but it's spread out throughout the week. One big thing I want you guys to write in your trading journal too is that this Friday is not NFP, okay? So normally, okay, so this is definitely an exception. Normally it is the first Friday of every single month. All right. But you guys can see this Friday, March 3rd, we don't have non-farm payrolls this Friday. We just have some PMI. We have a bunch of FOMC members speaking. We have Yellen speaking in the morning. So it still will be a very volatile Friday morning, just like it is with NFP, but it is not actually NFP until next Friday. If you guys go and look at March 10th, that is when we're going to have non-farm payrolls, okay? Non-farm employment changes. It's actually going to be Friday, March 10th. So write that in your journal, because normally people just assume that it's the first Friday of every month, and it normally is, but it's because, this Friday falls on the 3rd. It's very close to the beginning of the month, so they're pushing it back until Friday the 10th. So make sure you guys know that. NFP is not this Friday, okay? Non-farm payrolls is not this Friday, but there still are quite a bit of high impact news for the dollar spread out throughout the week. So just be aware of when they come out. I always tell everybody, what I do is I go down to Office Max, and every 6 months I pick up like a little 6-month planner with the little boxes for each day. I write down, and then on each Sunday, like earlier today, I went ahead and I wrote down all of these high impact news, what time they're coming out on my time, and then what currency they're affecting. And then I highlight them once they've come out, so I know I don't need to really worry about it at that point, but at least I'm aware. I can always just keep it right on my desk, right next to my computer. I can glance at it before I hop into a trade in case I might have forgotten, but it really helps you, stay focused throughout the week, okay? So let's go ahead and jump straight into the technicals, guys. I'll start just giving you guys my view on my opinions on the markets this week. Gold last week in Telegram, you guys saw me post a trading idea, which again, this goes back to definitely take everything I say with a grain of salt, because although I am a profitable trader, I do this for a living, I do this full time, and I have I'm very consistent, that we don't hit 100% win rate. We're going to have trading ideas that don't go in our favor. So last week I posted a trade idea around the 1250 area. You guys can see right here. A couple different levels of confluence. Not only is it the 50% retracement level, which is we're actually going to be going from the 2016 lows to the 2016 highs of gold, but it's also technical levels of multi-month support. Okay, so we can see 2 previous levels of support at this 50% level. We actually breached this resistance last week. It is possible that this may have just been a fake out. In my opinion, I do think gold is going to start falling throughout the week. It may make one more push up to like the 1260, 1265 area before falling down. But I do think that throughout the week, we're going to end up heading down a little bit lower. So I'm looking for sell signals on gold. I look for, and again, if you guys are trying to understand how I do my analysis or what I do to look for confirmation, I do not focus on the lower time frames, okay? I don't even look at really the 5-minute. I don't look at the 15-minute. I don't look at the 30-minute. I rarely look at the 1 hour unless I'm looking for like a really good entry on a breakout and a retest. When I'm looking for trade setups, I scale down. I start on the higher time frames and I work my way down. I'm going to start on the daily or the weekly, and then I'm going to work my way down onto lower time frames to look for my entries. So when I'm looking for sell signals, I'm looking more than likely on the 4-hour. I'm looking for exhaustion candles, bearish engulfing candles, really big sell signals on these higher time frames that give us conviction to the downside. So I'll be looking for gold selling off this week. Dollar index, I am looking for dollar index strengthening throughout the week. Okay, if you guys just follow from a technical level, from a technical standpoint on the dollar index, we have this really nice support trend line that's held for quite a while, right? This goes all the way back to late August, early September. And then we actually did find a bottom a couple weeks ago on the dollar index after a nice little bit of a retracement, a little bit of a pullback on this big impulse up. So I am looking for this impulse to continue higher for our second impulse up, okay, to create our third wave in a series of possibly 3 or 5 waves up. That's pretty much it. I'm bullish on the dollar. So of course, I don't trade the index, even though my broker allows me to trade the index. I don't actually place trades on the index. I just use this as a barometer. If this is your guys' first time seeing this and you're like, what is the DXY? This is the dollar index, okay? It measures the strength of the dollar, okay? So it's pretty simple. When this is going up, that's good for the dollar. When this is going down, it's bad for the dollar. And it gives you a really nice gauge. It actually does the opposite of Euro USD. So if this is going up, Euro USD is going down, vice versa. So long story short, this is how I kind of look at what's going on with the dollar. And of course, why do I look at what's going on with the dollar? Because the dollar makes up over 60% of the volume in the Forex markets. So as long as I have a good idea of what's going on with the dollar, technically I have a good idea of what's pretty much going on with a lot of the other pairs that I trade, which you guys will notice over here are all the pairs on the right here. And they almost all of them have the US dollar in them with the exception of, pound yen. And that's pretty much it. All the other ones have the dollar in them. So that's, not everybody is going to use that same technique. Some people trade completely random pairs, but I trade a lot of pairs related to the dollar. So that's why I look at the dollar index. So I'm bullish on the dollar index, looking for it to push higher throughout the week, move up higher, possibly into the 101.80, 102 levels. That's that. Euro USD, you guys can see this arrow right here. I am expecting some lower lows, exactly, Drew. So I'm bearish on Euro USD. That's exactly right. So EU, I am bearish on EU. I think we are going to come down and retest this 105 level down here. All right. Now, if we do break it, this is going to be obviously psychological level of support. Okay. If you guys use the quarter theory, that's obviously a quarter level right there. So much conviction to maybe see a bounce in that area, but I definitely am seeing Euro USD falling down here. Probably see a little bit of support down here, but as long as we see some consolidation, we see like a flag start to form, a bearish flag form, I'm going to look for this sell-off to continue down to like the 104, 103.50 area. So good potential on this pair. Euro USD, it could possibly come up to retest this green zone you guys can see right here, which is our just kind of a little bit of support and resistance zone. It's kind of a PRZ for this pair. So maybe come up to test that again before dropping, or it could just start dropping right off the bat. We did take a short on this pair last week at the end of the week in the premium group. We closed it right before markets closed with about 10 pips of profit. So not a whole lot, but I am looking at getting back into into this trade. Okay. Awesome. Sheldon says this is good, in line with your thoughts. Awesome. Yeah. So overall, guys, if you're just jumping in now, my bias overall is a bullish dollar this week. Also just looking at it has nothing to do with the fundamentals, but the fundamentals also are showing bullish for the dollar this week. USD CHF, so the US dollar versus the Swiss franc, I am also bullish on this pair this week. We've been bullish on this pair since we broke out of this channel, about 2 weeks ago. We broke out of this channel. We've been looking for buying opportunities, been making pullbacks, bought, pulled back. I think we're making another impulse up this week along. You'll notice if you look at the dollar index and you look at the US dollar and the Swiss franc, they pretty much do the same thing. They're very, very similar to how they look. Even if we look at them on the daily. Watch, let me switch between the two so you guys can see just how crazy the correlation is. So this is USD Swiss franc on the daily. There's the dollar index on the daily. You guys see that? Okay, very, very similar price action structure. They move very, very similar. So if we're looking for the dollar strengthening, we're looking at buying this pair. So I'm looking for opportunities to buy this pair. Ideally, it could be somewhere in this area, possibly get like a little bit of a bounce off this area. You guys can see this dotted red line. This is an alert that I have set. So once it breaks above this level, maybe see a bounce and then bounce higher. If you're a little bit on the conservative edge, maybe wait for these highs to be broken to be, for a confirmed bullish confirmation and then look to continue buying. But I think selling Euro USD and buying this pair this week are some great opportunities, along with selling gold once we see some signals. All right. Pound dollar, very interesting. If you guys have noticed, let me just throw it on the 1 hour real quick, just to show you guys how crazy this pound dollar is moving this week already. This is just since the markets opened. It's already playing in about an 80 pip range since the markets have opened. I am bearish on pound dollar. Let me be very clear with that. I am bearish on pound dollar. Now, I am waiting to sell until we get a break of this green zone. You guys see where this, let me just pull this back a little bit. This green dotted line right here. Let me just move this just a little bit. Maybe make that a little bit clear for you guys. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we have this zone. It pulls back for quite a while, all the way back until early 2017. So the beginning of this year, early January, this level has acted as multiple levels of support, multiple levels of resistance on both sides. I am waiting for a 4-hour candle to break through this level, either get a pullback up to this level and then sell, or just possibly get a little bit of a flag going on here, a little bit of consolidation and then shorting. And I'm looking to short down to this trend line. All right, down to this trend line. If we back this trend line up, you can see we've been holding this trend line for quite a while. We've got a few bounces in the past. You guys can see broke, retested, bounced. So I am looking for some sort of break of this support line and then a retest and then shorting lower. So this should be able to yield us a couple hundred pips this week as well. So definitely look for sells on this pair. I think this is a great opportunity. Pound yen has been making some ridiculous moves, guys. So again, another trade idea that didn't go necessarily as planned last week. In the premium group, we did go ahead and we took a buy on this pair, went up about 50 pips. We set our stop loss to break even, came down and actually ended up hitting our break even. So it was a risk-free trade. We didn't lose anything, but we bought right around here in the premium group. Once it kind of pulled up, pulled back, we bought down here at these lows and we went all the way up. You know, we saw this resistance as expected, right? It was a wedge, but it was either going to go one of two ways at this point, right? I mean, it's only going to go one of two ways. It's either going to break through this wedge and continue moving higher, which were what my thoughts were on this pair, or it's going to bounce off this wedge and then end up either coming down here and breaking or bouncing and going back. So we can obviously see in hindsight what happened, bounced off of this resistance and the wedge broke through. Huge sell-off. I mean, that's almost 300 pips. Actually, yeah, it is like 300 pips in less than 48 hours of, you know, the markets being open on this pair. So this pair could potentially keep crashing, especially with pound weakness. It could just keep falling. But there's one saying out there, you know, it's not a new saying or anything, but I'm sure most of you guys have heard it. Don't catch a falling knife, right? Or don't chase a trade, whatever you want to say. But I would not be interested in getting in this trade until we saw a pullback on this pair. You know, sometimes you're going to miss these big impulses and it's going to suck, but you don't want to have that woulda, coulda, shoulda, or woulda, coulda, shoulda mindset. You know, just push on to the next trade, look for future opportunities, because in Forex, guys, there's always going to be an endless amount of opportunities and possibilities. You know, if you miss a trade, there's always going to be more and more trades. So don't get down. Don't let your emotions, you know, dictate your future trades. If you miss a trade, just move on and look for more opportunities. Because like I said, there's always going to be a limitless amount of trading opportunities in your career. So that's that. You know, I'm not essentially with this pair, not super interested in trading it right now because it has made such a big impulse down to the downside. You know, it probably will keep going, but I don't want to just get in right now, especially after it's dropped almost 300 pips. So that's that. Another great trade, guys. We have been patiently waiting for this trade for so long. We have been waiting for this. We got the New Zealand dollar, US dollar trade 2 weeks ago. We caught 120 pips on that sell. If you guys remember, we'll go to New Zealand dollar, US dollar, but it finally broke that big uptrend. We caught that huge move to the downside. We're finally getting a break of this trend line on the Australian dollar, US dollar, and I think combined with dollar strength this week, we are going to see a nice move to the downside with the Australian dollar, US dollar. I mean, look at this, guys. Just look at this on the weekly, right? If we just like delete this for a second and we delete this for a second and you guys just look at just raw price action, look at this green zone, right? This box is drawn on the weekly time frame. We have some super, super, super strong resistance on this pair, holding this pair down. The sellers are just not letting these buyers from this big impulse up penetrate this zone. So, and I mean, even on the weekly, look at that candle that we have. Nice exhaustion candle. So I really think we're going to get a very nice crash on this pair this week. I'm very interested in taking a sell on this pair. We're almost to it also. Like if we actually look at hold on. Sorry guys, guess it doesn't want to do what we wanted. Let me just redraw this trend line. We were from the bottom down here all the way up right there. Okay. So what are we waiting for, right? Very, very simple. We're keeping this analysis simple. We have this extremely, extremely strong trend line going all the way back to the middle of January. All right, it's this ascending trend line, which price has bounced off multiple times. We created a channel on it, which it broke out of to the upside, made a couple bounces, rejections here, a bounce right here, rejection right there. And we're finally getting, look at it, when we come in a little bit closer, guys, we are finally getting that break of this trend line. All right, so I'm waiting for a little bit more conviction. I want to make sure that this isn't a fake out, that it's not just coming down to trick all the sellers, get a bunch of people to sell and then price continues skyrocketing. I want to make sure that price is actually coming down. But this is a great opportunity. Make sure you guys have this on your trading journals that AUD USD is more than likely probably going to head down to the downside this week. If you guys know your candle formations, right here is a 3-candle formation. All right, this is an evening star also, where we have a bullish candle, then a doji, then a bearish candle. Okay, that's a 3-candle formation. If you guys aren't familiar with it, just Google it, evening star formation, Forex, and it'll pull up something that looks just like that. So, I mean, on the daily candle, we have a bearish candle confirmation. On the weekly time frame, we have a bearish candle formation. So we're just looking for the lower time frames to confirm a breakout of this trend line, but definitely be looking for sells. And when we look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar, I'm just going to pull this up for a second. This is what I was talking about, not last week, and actually not the week before last, almost 3 weeks ago now. So the beginning of 2 weeks ago, we saw, normally New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and Australian dollar, US dollar follow each other, but we did see New Zealand dollar, US dollar start to kind of similar, right? It got rejected. This is weekly resistance a couple weeks ago. We kind of saw this exhaustion candle on the daily. So we were like, boom, that's going to signal us to the downside. Ended up dropping. We caught 121 pips on this and, made some pretty nice bank on this trade. And, AUD USD, it wasn't ready to fall yet. It still continued to climb higher. You guys can see it still continued to climb higher. So I think now it's ripe, it's time, it's ready to go. So I'm definitely looking forward to a nice solid short on this pair this week. And then, of course, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, I'm looking for a continued, selling pressure on this pair too. We made a nice double top in this area last week on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I'm looking for a continuation of this trend. It is still moving sideways, though. This is quite a bit of consolidation. So I'm going to probably go the more conservative approach on this pair. I'm going to be looking for our support levels to be broken, this area to be broken. I mean, we have the moving averages in this area. We have the 38.2% retracement level in this area. So we have a couple pieces of support that are kind of holding price up right now, and it's still ranging sideways. It's not trending right now. So I'm not too keen on jumping into a trade on this pair right away, but my overall bias on this pair is going to be to the downside. Awesome, Drew. You said me too. That's awesome. All right. A tricky pair, guys. This pair has been a little bit interesting, okay? And I'll show you guys why. Check this out. Look at this right here. This is some massive, massive consolidation on this pair. This is just ranging, right? We've went down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So this is just a huge range that this pair has been playing in. When we actually measure this range, how many trading days that this has been in, you guys can see that? I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there, you see that 45D? That's 45 days, okay? Because we're on the daily time frame right now. So 45 days, this pair has not given us any clear direction. And it's a little bit difficult, right? We have the dollar strengthening, but we have this pair falling a little bit. So it kind of has given us a, it's kind of pulling both ways on this pair. We had such a big impulse last year, okay, the end of last year. This was actually, if you guys, read news about Forex or you guys follow Forex, they actually said that this is, statistically speaking, this pair right here, USD Jappy, this was the strongest trend of 2016. This was the most trending pair of 2016. You go look at any other pair, you don't see any other pair move this much, this fast for this amount of time, this length, right? With almost no pullbacks for, let's actually measure that out. No pullbacks for how many days? No pullbacks for 38 days. Nothing happened. It just stayed bullish. We had some minor little pullbacks, but nothing huge. No big corrective patterns forming. Just, one day here, one day there, pulling back, but nothing crazy. So There's just a lot of indecision on this pair right now. Overall, as I've been talking to the premium group, as I've told you guys on our daily live sessions, I am expecting at some point throughout this year, before the end of the year, I am expecting us to make another big impulse up similar to this impulse. Maybe not as impulsive, but definitely moving up into like the 120, 122 to 125 range. But I would be biased to, if I had to say what direction I think that this pair is going to move this week, I would have to say that I think we are probably going to see a little bit of a reversal in this area, and that we can be looking for buy signals in this area, probably looking for a bottom, okay? Now, be very careful with this pair. Don't just be buying down here. Make sure you're looking for buy signals. This buy will be invalidated if these lows are broken. All right, if we get some 4-hour candles closing below these previous lows, then we're going to look for this this correction wave to extend lower down into like possibly the 110.50, down here, the 110 area. So, but I still do think that there is a chance for this to turn around, especially, if we're looking at gold moving lower. Remember, guys, so also one big thing, just write this down, guys, if you're new. All right. Going to talk about correlations for a second, okay? What one pair does if another pair does another thing. So one of the strongest correlations, guys, okay, one of the strongest correlations is the correlation between this pair right here, USD JAPY, okay, the dollar yen, and gold. All right, they have a very, very strong negative correlation, okay, between a 90 and 95% negative correlation. And you guys can fact check me on that, right? They have correlation charts. My FX book has a correlation little like graph on there. You can go and pick two pairs and see what their correlation percentage is. I promise if you go and look at it, it's going to be like a negative 90% or higher correlation between these two pairs, meaning that if gold goes down, USD JAPY goes up, right? The same reason like we see gold moving up right now, and we see USD JAPY coming down. So very strong correlations to each other, okay? They pretty much do the opposite of each other. So because I am biased to gold starting to come down this week, I would be biased to USD JAPY starting to move up higher, possibly begin an uptrend, but it's still a little hazy because, again, we go back to the first example when I first pulled this up. We've been moving sideways for, what was it? I think 43 days or 46 days, something like that. 45 days. 45 days we've been moving sideways on this pair, so it's really a toss-up right now. All right, lots of consolidation on this pair. And finally, USD CAD. USD CAD. Again, I want to see some price action on this pair. I kind of went over the better opportunities. I think the better opportunities are going to be this week on Euro USD, selling it. Gold, once it comes down, selling that. Pound dollar, once it breaks its support, right? Selling that. Where right there. The pound dollar, when it breaks its support right there. AUD USD, when it breaks the support trend line. I'm not really too keen on trading USD CAD right now, and I'll tell you why, okay? Here's another correlation, okay? Here's another correlation for you to write down. USD CAD, all right, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, does the opposite of what oil does, all right? WTI more in particular. WTI and Brent, both oils, one's US oil, one's UK oil. They both are generally going to move in the same direction, but I analyzed WTI. And here's why I'm a little bit a little bit nervous of I don't know which way it's going to go yet, is because with oil, look at oil, guys. We have been in such a tight consolidative range, but it's technically a big bull flag. You guys see that? There's the flagpole. Then here's this consolidation range. So what does that mean? If those of you guys that are experienced traders, if we have a bull flag here, which way is oil supposed to go? Which way is this pair supposed to go? Based on technicals, if you guys trade based on technicals, which way should oil continue going? Exactly. Up. Awesome. Yeah. Josh, Drew, all you guys. Manny said oil to 57 in your opinion. Awesome. Exactly. So based on just pure technicals, based on the textbook definition of a bull flag or just a flag in general, whichever direction you see the first impulse, which in this case is up, and then you start to see the consolidation, you're going to see a second impulse in the same direction of the first impulse as long as you see a consolidation phase. So that being said, what are those technicals telling us? That we should see oil continue moving higher. But when we also look at this on the weekly time frame, I mean, look at last week's candle, right? We saw it actually push up for a little bit up there. Oil had actually broken this resistance, but before the end of the week, sellers came back in and pushed price down, and we're still staying below this area. So it's kind of a toss-up, and that's why I'm saying, if oil goes up, then we're going to see USD CAD go down. But if we see oil go down, then we're going to see USD CAD go up. Realistically, though, just to be completely honest, guys, based on the technicals, even with a strong dollar, and I was telling my premium members this earlier in the week, even with a strong dollar, okay, just because there's a strong dollar doesn't necessarily you go to every single pair and you look at a scenario to buy the dollar. Somebody that's inexperienced might say, okay, well, if the dollar is strengthening, then I'm going to buy USD CAD. Well, USD CAD, the Canadian dollar, their economy revolves heavily around oil. So oil is going to influence this pair more than the dollar does. And just based on technicals, right, we kind of have a three-wave pattern forming here. We had this nice impulse wave. We had a really big corrective wave in this channel form. And then we broke out of it right here. And then even this weekly, look at this weekly candle right here. You see last week's candle? This giant exhaustion candle? There's definitely signals to the downside on this pair. Okay, but it's just a little bit kind of confusing because we're looking at buying the dollar. So there's other scenarios like Euro USD, we're looking at selling because that's the dollar strengthening, right? AUD USD, we're looking at selling because that's the dollar strengthening, right? We're looking at selling gold because that's the dollar strengthening. But somebody might look at USD CAD and be like, okay, well, wouldn't you buy USD CAD if the dollar is strengthening? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because oil is going to have a bigger effect than what the dollar is doing on this pair in particular. Okay. So exactly, Manny. Oil says going higher and USD CAD says going lower. So it's a little kind of shaky of what's going to happen this week on these pairs. But I wouldn't sell USD CAD. I would stay definitely neutral on this pair until these support levels are broken, right? Don't sell this until support levels are broken because we're still in a big consolidative period. This is all consolidation right here. And if we measure that, how long it's been consolidating for, 32 days, over a month, this pair's been just moving sideways, right? Just moved up, moved down, moved up, moved down, moved up, moved down. So no clear direction. It hasn't said that it's going up. It hasn't said that it's going down. So wait for the confirmations before buying or selling this pair this week, guys. Remember, I think there's a lot better opportunity on these other pairs. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat room. But just once more, I will just, so if I went too fast or if anybody jumped in at the last minute, I'm just going to quickly recap what I think are the best opportunities this week. So for starting off, Euro USD, I think with dollar strength, Euro USD is going to continue falling. Okay. Pound dollar, I think, is going to continue falling also, but I'm waiting for this support zone to break. And I'm waiting for confirmation, right? Some of you guys might be asking, well, it broke right here, right? Well, yes, but the candle has not closed yet. The candle is not closed lower, so there's no confirmation on which way it's going. This candle could easily, it still has an hour and a half left. It could pull all the way back up, create a giant exhaustion candle, and then end up flying up. We don't know. So I'm waiting for the support level to be broken before selling. That's another good trade this week. And then, of course, I think one of the most beautiful setups this week is AUD USD. As long as we can get a break of this trend line, I think we're going to see some sellers step in and see this pair continue lower. And then that's pretty much it. I think those three pairs are going to be the best opportunity. Of course, USD chafe too. USD Swiss franc, if this pair continues moving higher, just like does the opposite of Euro USD. Of course, if Euro USD keeps falling, USD Swiss franc is probably going to continue shooting up as well. Or not probably, it definitely will continue shooting up. So that's what I've got, guys. Drew, you're saying, can I look at a certain pair? Unless it's one of these pairs, I don't look at any other pair because I only trade these pairs, my man. Unfortunately, yeah. And I know, I'm definitely looking at expanding, this year. I'm looking at some other pairs possibly, but my strategy is kind of, it's like the saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I've been having the same strategy, trading the same pairs for going on over 2 years now. So I like the strategy that I have. I like the way I do this. So I'm going to stick with this for right now. All right, guys. That is that. Again, if you guys liked what you heard, please go ahead and visit my website. If you guys are interested in joining our premium group, you can go on and see our different pricing options for it. But the premium group, I give out about an average of 10 signals every week. We have daily live sessions Monday through Thursday where I get on for about an hour, do some super in-depth analysis. And then, of course, we have the trade copier. So you get all three of those things when you're in the premium group. And then, of course, we have our our private chat room in the premium group with all the premium members. Everybody shares their analysis, and we have our little discussions in there. So if you guys want some more information, please visit our website, positivetraders.us. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Okay, like I said, throughout the week, I'll usually post an Instagram story here or there with like an entry, and I actually will show like the take profit and stop loss in the pair that I'm trading. My Instagram username is @DavidShinkle. I'll put it in the chat right here for you guys, @DavidShinkle. So you guys can follow me. And then join our Facebook group too. We do giveaways sometimes on there, all sorts of fun stuff. But, staying really connected with us. And, last but not least, my biggest tip to all you traders out there. Some of you guys are wondering, how do you do it? How do you trade full time? How do you be successful in Forex? Guys, there is no secret sauce. There's no magic tree. There's no secret formula. I don't contain or, possess any extra special stuff than anything that you guys can do if you just apply yourself. The key really breaks down in Forex to risk management. That's all it breaks down to, is risk management. That's key, guys. You just, it doesn't even matter if you don't even have to be the best trader, right? You can actually win 40% of the time, 50% of the time. You can win literally half your trades, or sometimes even less than half your trades. And as long as you manage your risk properly, you can be a successful and profitable trader. But so many people have that get rich quick. They have to be like, oh, I need to take this $1,000 and turn it into $10,000 in 1 month mentality. And then they end up over leveraging their account and going broke. And it's usually due to, people posting all these fake pictures and these demo pictures and all these, fake MetaTrader pictures of fake accounts, demo accounts all over the place to entice you. So that's why you guys don't see, we just post our results. We just post our trade signals. We post, if you guys want to go and see our, all of our trade signals, I want you guys to check this out too. So if you guys don't know this, last thing, and then I'll stop boring you guys to death, but we have profit_loss. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the chat room too, but we actually have all of our profit and loss reports. I'll actually go to it real quick. You guys can come on here and you can actually see all of our profit and loss reports from even all the way from back of last year, right? We have 2016, 2017. You can go see every single week that we have in the premium group. You can see like how we performed, how many pips we made. And the best part I like about this is we can't manipulate this, right? Like so many groups have their own way they track their trades, and there's no like timestamps or anything. You guys can see like last modified, like, you can see we put these in here each week as they go by. We can't touch them, right? We can't go back in and change the numbers on them, or else it's going to change the date, right? You can go and see. We don't go back in and change the dates on stuff or change, this is all real factual stuff that you guys can go off of. And then, ask a premium member, right? You guys connect with a premium member, ask them, right? All of our premium members have access to this. So we aren't going to post something in here that is different than what a premium member sees, right? It's not going to make any sense. We wouldn't have a good reputation if that were the case. So definitely come on here. I'm going to post the link in here too. If you guys want to hear, here's the link for that. So if you guys want to go to, I think I need to put a www. There you guys go. And then you can go ahead and see all of our profit and loss reports, kind of get an idea in the premium group. So that's that. But there we go. Jonathan, you asked, are the ones you give on IG the same ones for the premium group? Yes, Jonathan. Yeah, usually I'll post like a premium group, like screenshot on Instagram. Drew, you said been at this for almost 3 years, finally starting to get it. That's it, man. It's consistency, right? They say, well, you talk to your average millionaire, you talk to your average successful person. What do they say? How long does it take for you to become a master at something? How many hours? 10,000 hours, right? So it's just like anything else in the world, guys. You can't expect to jump into Forex, be a master in 5 months, 6 months, and be flipping accounts 6 months in, right? It's going to take a couple years, but I mean, you just look at the grand scheme of things. You have your entire life ahead of you. You dedicate a couple years of your life now, 1, 2, 3 years of your life now to grind really hard, have some discipline, don't blow accounts, trade demo, learn, build a strategy for yourself over a couple years, and then go out with real money and for the next 10 years, make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the way you have to do it, guys. That's the way you have to treat it like a profession. You can't treat it like a hobby, okay? Louis, you said 4 years in, you're only 22, best investment I make. I mean, the best investment you can make is in yourself, right? I mean, there's people that go, and I don't hate anybody that goes to university. I don't give anybody crap for that. If you go to college, great. There's definitely jobs out there, skill sets out there that you need to go to college for. You need a traditional education for, right? You can't go, you need to go to school to be a doctor. You need to go to school to do certain things, right? But if you have that entrepreneur mindset and you really want to be your own boss and work for yourself, people go to college for 4 years. Do they get paid while they're going to college? Well, unless they have a job, no. But does the school pay them to go to college? No. So, people jump into Forex and they're like, I need to make money right away. I need to make money. No, don't have that mindset. You don't need to have that mindset. You need to have an investment. Find a mentor to reduce your learning curve. It doesn't even have to be me. Find somebody out there that teaches you the right stuff, is honest with you, teaches the right things like risk management, how to control your positions, using price action to read the markets, not just, using a bunch of crazy indicators and, RSI stochastics, all this crazy junk. All that stuff is garbage. Look at price action. That's the only true live indicator. But if you want to be successful in this business, you need to find a mentor to reduce your learning curve, or you're going to be going in circles for a really long time. So you just need to decide to make that investment in yourself. And that's it, guys. So that's it. Drew, you said you're 32. You wish you did this at 22. Definitely, man. I mean, but you're only 32. You're still young. Even if you're 50 years old, you're still young. You put 2-3 years into this to get good. You can still retire and not have to worry about budgeting money by the time you're 60 years old. It's still doable no matter really what age you're at. That's the great thing. All you have to do is apply your brain, right? It's not back-breaking labor trading Forex. It's not like you have to go out and carry thousands of pounds of stuff or learn some crazy skill set. It's just consistency, guys. That's all it is. So that's it, guys. So I appreciate all you guys' time, all of your guys' support. You guys are very welcome. Have a great weekend, guys, or a great week. Stay posted in Telegram for some trade ideas. Also, this will be up on YouTube. If you guys haven't visited our YouTube channel, we've got over 60 videos on there for you guys to go through. Just go in YouTube, Positive Traders will be the first channel on there. But there's the link on our Facebook. There's links to we have our links everywhere. If you're in the Telegram chat room, we've got the links in the pin post in there. So I'll go ahead and upload this to YouTube for you guys. But you guys have an awesome weekend. Drew, definitely thanks for reminding me. I'll go ahead and hit you back on Facebook. But I will catch you guys on the next weekly webinar, and I'll catch you guys in Telegram. Have a great week, guys.